Someone says, "What's the future?" Vaughn Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to a very special episode, a long time coming of Vaughn Coleman Presents. I'm, of course, your host, Vaughn Coleman. And before we get started, I want to talk about the book. And this isn't going to be the first time we're going to talk about the book. We'll be talking about it a lot today. But my upcoming comic book that is fully lettered now, which is, I've had this comic for a while. And to actually be able to read it and not just read the script and then look at the notes and then read the script and then look at the page, to actually be able to read my comic has kind of been amazing. Feels very surreal. My dream project, and of course I wouldn't have been able to do it without tonight's guest. But let's talk about the comic itself. Let's chill it real quick. Links are in the chat for my comic book Phenomenova issue 1, Lightning Strikes. So this story is set 20 years after World War III and follows the idealistic son of a war hero who strikes out to become a superhero inspired by his father's legacy. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely check it out. All backers, because we already hit our 16K stretch goal, all backers will be getting this exclusive free mini print. And then on top of that, you will also, if you back on Fund My Comic, be getting this mini print free. And finally, the fan art contest winner drew this. You will be getting this exclusive free trading card. All these in addition to 65 pages of an incredible story. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely back this book while you still have the chance. You can also back it on Indiegogo. Like I said, links are in the chat. Links will be in the description. But without further ado, let's bring in the artist behind this book, Philip Cruz. What's going on, man? It's great talking to you.
It's good to see you, man. Thanks for having me here.
Of course, dude. Of course. We were just talking earlier, working on issue 2, which is already... Yeah, as soon as we were done, I was like, I got issue 2. I knew immediately I wanted to work on the next one. And it's been so fun. It's been crazy. A year ago, I was selling these back when it was called Living Legends. Or not selling these, giving these out. And now we have a full book. It's crazy. I guess when I want to get into it, because everyone's been wanting to hear from me. People have been reaching out going, oh my God, who is this artist? This guy's amazing.
Really?
So I want to ask, how did you first get into well, tell everyone a bit about yourself and how you first got into comics.
Okay. Actually, I'm an artist at the heart, but actually, I live in the Philippines, so it's a third world country, and art is not very much appreciated here. I'm not sure there, but it's the case here. But I really wanted to pursue it, but I was just able to do so right after I graduated college.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah.
So
I took up like a course. I took up architecture, so it's very different from doing art.
Oh, so you went to school? You didn't go to school for art. You went to school for architecture.
Yeah.
Oh, so are you self-taught then?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Wow, I always assumed you went to art school. I didn't see. I've been working with you for so long, talking to you for almost 2 years now, I think. I had no idea that. I just assumed you went to art school. Wow, that's crazy. So you said you were an artist at heart. So what did you grow up reading? What were you or watching or whatever that made you want to be an artist?
Okay, I the first comic book that blew me away was Batman Hush by Jeff Loeb and Gigi. Yeah.
That was mine too, right?
Hmm?
That was my first one too.
Yeah. It's amazing, right? How a single book can alter the change of our lives.
Oh yeah. So you were inspired by Batman Hush, and then
Batman Hush. It was issue number 8. I think it was with Dick Grayson and the Riddler.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah, when they're running on the rooftop.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
And I bought all of the back issues, the succeeding ones. all of it.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, I love this. I mean, I keep every time I look at it, and I've looked at this I don't know how many times, I'm always blown away by the artwork. It's just, yep, this like right here you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it so much. Yeah. That what a time for comics. So Batman Hush inspired you, and then from there, what else did you start reading? Was there anything in particular that grabbed you, or
Batman Hush. Right now, as an adult, I kind of like the graphic novels outside of superheroes. Have you heard of Saga?
I have
With
heard
the
it's
Image
amazing. I haven't
Yeah,
read it yet, but I have heard nothing but just that it is. People have been telling me to read it. They've been telling me it's amazing, but I haven't read
it's
it yet.
amazing. Like it's, I felt like I had a dollar just by reading that book.
Oh yeah, is it that good? I've heard
Yeah,
it's amazing. All right,
and
I'll have to check that out.
I kind of like feel like her quest. I kind of relate to the characters a little bit, so it's good. It's really great.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Cool. People were asking because a lot of people have been telling me, asking who your influences are. They're like, oh, I. A lot of people see a lot of manga influence in your work, but we've only ever talked about American. Well, actually, that's not true. We just earlier today talked about Full Metal, right? Was that who were your biggest artistic influences?
Um, for sure, Jim Lee is on top. Olivier Coipel is there too. Pepe
Um,
Larraz. So those three, I think those three are on the top of my mind right
sorry,
now.
Olivier. I'm gonna look this up. Who is? I love Pepe
Olivier
Larraz.
Coipel. He worked on Magic Order with Mark Miller,
Okay.
and he drew House of X. Yeah, House with Bendis.
Oh, well, I know Pepe Larraz. I just didn't know Olivier. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Olivier.
Wow.
House
Yeah.
of X. I think that's his most popular Marvel one.
Yeah,
And
House of X, I remember
yeah,
being, even though the story I was iffy on, I remember being blown away by his artwork.
oh
Especially
yeah,
there's this one scene, God, was it the one where Jean is getting shot and it just turns into like, oh my God, I'm trying to remember it. There's so many great scenes, but I think that my favorite part of that was when they go onto the spaceship and they're all like dying. And just the way he drew that was so unforgettable.
hmm
His art is amazing. Okay, so those are, yeah, I could definitely see all those in this book. And I don't know if you ever, because you don't use social media much, but I want to talk about, because I don't, I guess this is a good opportunity for me to show you. Let me see if I could pull it up. I have to promote a lot when I tweet this, when I talk about this, but I think, let me see if I could find it through here. There, like when I first posted the double page spread that you see in the background here,
oh yeah.
um, people were freaking out. I remember, like, I'll never forget this. It was the reaction I got to this book
But you know,
was,
it's your concept. You know, I just brought it to life.
oh no, you did more than that,
It's a
man.
co-creation. You know,
Oh,
it's a
absolutely.
collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Because
So,
I wouldn't have thought of like a fire dragon that it shapes into a tornado. I wouldn't have think of that by my own.
yeah.
It's it's your concept, and you know, I kind of like from your words, the vision is there in my mind, and I just drew it.
That's awesome. What's cool is I remember I was revising my description, man, and I tell this story all the time. I'm not sure if I've ever told it to you, but I was revising the description because you were in the middle of drawing the thumbnail, and then
Mm-hmm.
I was about to send you a revised version, and by the time I was opening the messages to send it
Uh
to
huh.
you, you had already drawn the thumbnail, and it was so much cooler than what I had envisioned that
Uh huh.
I was like, I'm not even sending this to you. Don't even look at what I just said. Just go with it. Because this was just it was so cool. Oh my god. Like here's the thing, you say it was just my vision, but there's so much in here that I didn't even think of. Like he looks like when you were drawing the dragon, like he looks almost more demonic and scarier than what I envisioned,
Uh
and I
huh.
love that. Um, and I remember the reactions to this when I sent this. I sent this to so many people. Let's see, and Kelsey Shannon. So he's an artist who's done like I think he did some Batman the Animated Series
Oh,
comics.
wow.
He was just like blown away by what you were doing. Um, and ever since then, people were watching this book very closely. I remember, and they were like, "Who is this artist?" A couple of people have reached out and like, "I want to hire him for something." So you definitely a lot of people have loved it, and I think one of the things that I liked about talking to you right away, because I literally had so many pages of just people I was going through when I made that post. And I forget, did you reach out to me first or did I reach out to you first? I'm trying to remember.
I think I reached out to you first.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was
if
it
I
I
remember.
posted in a Facebook group, right? Is that how we met?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
But
remember.
but yeah, I really wanted to read your work first, and the first draft, if you remember, it was different
Mhm.
from what we have now, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, it was amazing. Even the first
Thank
draft
you.
was amazing.
Thank
I
you. You
really
think
liked
so?
the dialogue, the banter.
Oh, thank you.
It was pretty entertaining for for a first draft, and then you
Yeah.
change it. I think which is better.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, you know what it was, and I'll tell you why. First of all, for those of you watching, I was a pain in the ass early on. I was so indecisive. Part of the reason, so I'll be honest with you. You know how I kept saying, I'll get back to you, I haven't decided yet? The truth is, I had
Yeah.
decided on you very early on, but I was afraid to
Oh.
commit
Uh
because
huh.
I felt, even though you told me you liked my script, I
Uh
didn't
huh.
think it was good enough, and I wanted to revise it until I was ready to officially hire you. So that's why I took
Okay.
months and I kept rewriting over and over and over again because I needed to make sure if I'm paying you to draw these pages that they're worthy of your talent. And that's why I changed the ending, the beginning to be bigger. That's why there was
Yeah.
these all these high school scenes of people talking and I was like we could do cooler than that. And I cut out some scenes that I liked. Like I did like the love interest scene. I
Mm-hmm.
like the skateboarding scene, but I
Uh huh.
feel like what we got was better.
Uh huh.
I
I.
wonder if I still have the test page you drew for me. Because I remember seeing your test page and just,
Oh
I was like,
yeah.
this is the guy.
It was his crush, Miles' crush.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it was him falling down the
Will you be
stairs.
bringing her back?
I could still bring her, the character still exists in my head. Was she in the
Hmm.
background, by the way? Did you draw her or no?
Yeah, yeah. I did draw her.
Okay, you did keep her. That was one of
Yeah.
the things I remember liking about another reason why I really liked working with you, right? Was that you would remember details from earlier drafts that, like, for example, there was, for those of you listening, whether you read the book, because this interview will be on my channel later, there was scenes early on in my book where he was skateboarding or whatever, and this was before you had read this before we even designed the costume. And
Yeah.
even though we removed that from the script, I remember when you drew the makeshift costume, you drew him with the like skateboarding helmet and the knee pads, and it's like you remembered all these little details that I wasn't even thinking of anymore, and I love that. Uh, it was so cool, man. It was so cool.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a collaborative effort, and yeah, it's
And
a cool experience.
and I couldn't have asked for, dude, a better collaborator. I was like, you were able to put up with all my crap. Kept making because I made a lot of mistakes early on. I couldn't decide. I was afraid on deciding on anything because I've had this idea since I was literally in second grade, and the
Mm-hmm.
idea of handing it to anyone was so scary. Uh, and eventually, and every time I showed someone art, they were like, "Dude, this guy is amazing. Who is this?" And I had people like, okay, so like people like I remember you mentioned you're a fan of Kenneth Rocafort, right?
Fan of what?
Kenneth Rocafort.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he liked your stuff when he saw it. Like a lot of people liked your stuff.
Thank you.
And
It was all you, man. I mean, like you kind of like marketed me in a way.
well, I didn't have to. That's a I see you say that about you, but the truth is, no one has read my writing yet. The reason a lot of people are buying it is because of your artwork, right? Like,
Oh,
if your artwork, the fact of the matter is, I think I'm a good writer, but I haven't. No one has read it, my stuff. All they know
mhm.
are the visuals that you drew from my writing. So, Again, it's a mutual thing. I couldn't have asked for a better collaborator. It's been amazing working with you.
Yeah, me too.
So I have a
Likewise.
question. We can show some black and white art. Did you have any favorite? I'll let you, like, even though I'm trying to show stuff off later,
Hmm.
did you have any favorite black and white art pages that you me to show? Like, what were your favorite parts of the book to work on?
Uh, I think it was the double page spread of the first double page spreads, the first two. I think that was my two favorites.
All right, let's show them. I decided to, and I'll have to put more double page spreads in later. I don't think I have any in issue 2.
Yeah,
Um,
but
but
there's a lot of like good scenes in it as well. Like
I
lots of
think,
banter, lots of emotional moments. So it's good.
yeah. Yeah, I like my dialogue, and people tell me sometimes to cut it down, and I do. But I don't know, man. Like I think if you want to have the characters punching each other, you have to care about the characters. If
Hmm.
you're gonna put them in danger, so
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I love, and one of the things I loved also is because there were character designs, but then there were after the first few character designs, I decided to let you do your thing. And when I saw you just first draw all the people, so a lot of these characters, I'll show the double page spreads in a bit, but a lot of these characters are based on some of my real life friends, but I didn't send any pictures of them, I
Oh,
don't think. Right? I never sent you any
no,
pictures
no,
of them,
no,
right?
no, no.
Because I wanted to just see what you would come up with just by me describing them. Um,
Mm.
and I loved it.
So
You
how
did
did it look like? Like, did it look like your friends or something?
a little bit. So I'll say this guy was the closest. Well, this guy was the closest, but
Mm-hmm.
some of them not. But the thing is, they all captured the personalities, which is important. Like one thing I love about your art, one of the reasons why I gravitated to you, one of the many reasons I did, you're very good at drawing young faces, which a lot of artists can't do older and young. Your
Uh huh.
characters are very detailed but also very expressive. Like even without a word of dialogue on the page, you can tell what everyone's thoughts are on this rock, and I love it. Like everyone has a unique expression. And that was one of my favorite things, because if I was going to write dialogue panels, I needed an artist who could make every facial expression interesting. Um and yeah, these ones are great. I love, he has like a dopey face, which is perfect. Is exactly what I was going for.
Yeah, I
And then
tried to
he's
like reflect their personality through the art, and yeah, I'm glad that I achieved that.
oh, you absolutely did. I have to stop sharing for a second because I don't want to show the whole book. But for those of you, I don't know if I've ever shown off. I think I might have shown off once the black and white art. But here it is.
Yeah.
Before it was colored, and it's still. Oh my god, man. I wrote so much detail for this page. A stupid amount of detail. Um, Too much, I would say. And then you still added stuff that I never thought of. Like I don't think I mentioned a bridge. I don't think I mentioned, was this a stadium, right?
Yeah, it's a stadium.
Like when you were designing this page, like how did you come at it?
Hmm. I've kind of like uh I mean like the vision says like and the script says like you need something like of a big villain
Hmm.
that will kill the Golden Gallant, the one of the main heroes of the story, right?
Hmm.
I mean, main heroes of the world of the world of Phenomenova.
Yeah.
So we so I visualized something so big and so scary that it would be obvious that he was gonna lose, but at the
Hmm.
same time, they're gonna both kill each other, right?
Hmm. You
So
really
yeah,
did that. I think it was great. I forget, did you draw this before the double page of all the heroes or after?
I think it was before. It was before, yeah.
Oh, this is Vaughn's artist. Yeah, this is my artist. Yeah. Um, Yeah, and people are filing in. Everyone's taking a look because people have been wanting to know, about this. So this was before, right?
Yeah, it was before, if I
Oh
remember
man.
correctly. Yeah.
You know what it was is I think one of the things with you early why it took so long to get the first couple pages was because I tell a whole world war in
Mm-hmm.
just three images, and what you were able to convey in every, like, a splash and then two double page splashes, and what you were able to convey, like, I remember I was like, yeah, just draw some soldiers fighting, and then Philip draws this, and I was just like, oh my god, like, the amount of insane detail in this
Thank you,
page,
man.
it's just, it's unbelievable. um I forget because even then, I remember early on we were debating because World War III. I literally printed out a map of the world and was just marking off places where the opening battle could be. Um, where did we decide on again? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, okay. That, I think it was some. Was it Korea or I
Was
know?
that is it? Was it South Korea? Because that was on the list. I
I think
remember
it
it
was
was.
South Korea, if I
It was
remember correctly.
yeah. You know what I remember? I remember sending you a list of cities because at a certain
Oh
point I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, "What do you want to draw? We'll just put it there." And I think it was just I was just like you choose the country, you choose the area, and we're just
Uh-huh.
gonna go
Yeah.
through it. Um, and I remember because I remember sending the script to some friends of mine, artist friends, and people. I was like, "Where do you think it should take place?" And I would get a bunch of different ones, and then some of my own. And finally, I was like, "Let's just pick one." So we have, and even in these double page spreads, we just cover different places. You know, that double page spread with the dragon was in California. There was in
Mhm.
Korea. And then this one, I mean, you captured. I wanted to convey,
Yeah.
without even showing my main character, how special superheroes were in just one image.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at a certain point, because I think we were doing so many designs, I asked you, I was like, do you want someone else to do some of the designs? And I think you said, yeah, so you designed these two, Golden Gallon and the Phoenix Senshi, and then I had
Yeah.
someone else do these. But then even still, you would bring your own twist to them.
Mhm.
And I loved that, man. It was so cool.
Yeah, I kind of like adjusted the costumes a little bit
Yeah,
just to like fit the two that I already designed.
yeah. Everyone, you know what surprised me is so I had that my chat got to vote on like their favorites,
Mm-hmm.
and people act. I was shocked. I thought everyone was gonna choose the blonde, or who they wanted a trading card of. But the winner of the poll was Dark Cloud, who you designed. But the runner up was the Phoenix Senshi.
Oh, Phoenix Senshi,
Was
nice.
the chat chose her? So who was your favorite character of every character to design for this book?
Hmm. To design, I think
Any
my
character.
favorite. Okay, the favorite design that I did was Phoenix Senshi.
The Phoenix Senshi.
Yeah, I I, I,
Uh,
I I really like Estrella too.
Estrella, you're gonna see Estrella in issue 2. Estrella, by the way, she was Lady Justice originally. The reason I changed her name was because it was so common, and I was like, oh, it's no big deal. And then literally the next day after I said it's no big deal, I go to a comic convention and I see some indie comics, and someone is selling a
Mhm.
comic where their main character is named Lady Justice to me. And I
Oh,
was like, I can't. I was like, this is the third character I found. I have to change it. And so Estrella is one of the Greek goddesses that Lady Justice is based on, and in Greek mythology, she was like a goddess of the stars or something. She's a goddess of truth, justice, and like the star. It's weird, but yeah. Let's see, Vaughn. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just having a what's up, Phil. Phil's a great comic book creator, and then Dean James, comics mate. He's a great artist. But yeah. So the Phoenix Senshi was your favorite. That's
mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I
remember.
kind of I kind of like your vision of it too. Like, I think I remembered like you wanted to look like the X Men, Psylocke of X Men, right? That
Yeah,
was the inspiration.
I threw like 10 different characters at you, and I was like, and if you think of something better, that's fine. But what I would do, now I'm better at it. Now that we're better, have a better, I think there was a lot of Growing pains. All right, people are yelling at me in the chat. What is the big wing dude's name, Vaughn? I've said it earlier. All right, it's Golden Gallant. Golden Gallant is the name of the character. He's I wanted him to be the knight in shining armor, and he was one I remember. I had a much more generic looking knight in mind, and I remember some of the when I first saw the winged helmet. I was at first like, I was so surprised because like I had never thought of that, and it's so much cooler than what I had in mind. Um, what when you were designing this knight, the knight uniform, like what did you pull from the most?
I'm playing a video game. Like, I'm not sure the name. Okay, I think it was Devil May Cry. So,
Oh, really?
so do you know that? Do you know that game?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but that's so interesting. I had no idea what you pulled from.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's just an inspiration because, like, there are like winged devils there. So it's kind of like contrary to what I designed because like the inspiration is a devil, but here he's like a knight in shining armor.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I remember I was like, he almost looked scary to start with. But then and at first I was hesitant for that reason. If you remember, I was back and forth. But then I thought about it and I was like, well, he scares the crap out of the bad guys. I love it. And there's so many knight characters and he looks unlike any of them. He's like some of these characters.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right. I had never thought of that. That's awesome. That's so much. That was one of those examples that was so much cooler than what I had in mind.
Think of it.
Shout out to everyone in chat, including Vaughn Coleman. Keep up good work on the channel. Appreciate it. And shout out from the South Bronx, brother BKL Contreras,
How
aka
about you, man? Like, where did the Phenomenova come from? Like the name. I'm curious.
the name.
Yeah.
Oh man, the name. I
How
remember.
did you think of it?
Yeah, you remember. So Philip and I have been working together on this for a while. It was to the point the folder we have that I'm looking at is still called Living Legends. Phenomenova came because someone messaged me who was looking at my book and said, dude, there's this guy who has this comic called Living Legends in this role-playing game, and apparently he really likes to sue people. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to change the name. And I talked to a lawyer to confirm, and then multiple people in person had told me they thought Living Legends was too generic of a name. Phil, who's in the chat, was one of them actually. Was one of the people who told me that. And so I was like, okay. And so I had to think of a new name. And I was like, let's come up with something that no one's ever heard before. And so I just started thinking of a bunch of different words. And I was like, well, what are superheroes? Well, it's about a young superhero. So they're phenomenons in the sense that they're media stars, in the sense that they're literally a phenomenon, that they're something that's unexplained with their powers. And I was like, well, that's a word I really like. And then Nova was another one of the words I had written down, which Nova means like a young, bright star with a lot of potential. And then I remember putting those words together, and I was like, well, they are phenomenons, and they're full of energy. They're like bright young stars. They're unlike anything you've ever seen before. And that's where Phenomenova came from.
Wow, I'm amazed with how you came up with that name.
I am too. I went into
deep.
it.
Like, yeah, I
you.
thought like it's just like
Yeah.
like a word that popped in your mind. So
Kind
it has an
of.
inspiration. Yeah.
So like
It's
the
really
double
cool, man.
page spread, the double page spread where he's writing in the notebook a bunch of names and crossing them out, that is
Yeah.
what I did. That is what I
Oh,
do when I come up
okay.
with character names. When I come up with Phenomenova, I literally had like tons of pieces of paper that I would narrow it down, new piece of paper, narrow it down until I circled one, or I star ones I was leaning towards. And also, fun fact, I don't know if I told you this, but I remember telling you to include it. Some of the guys in this chat actually, so Lord Lightning was the original name I had in my mind when I came up with the idea in second grade. But then I found out the name was taken. Volt, one of the guys in the chat, Phil right here, if he's still here, was very insistent that I name the character Volt. He kept messaging me like every day. He was like, you should change it to Volt. So just as a reference to him, I put Volt in there. Lord Lightning was the name, if you remember. That was the one in the script you read, right? It was Lord Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
And
Galvanite too. I think that was the
Galvanite
Galvanite
came later.
came later. Yeah.
Galvanite came later because I thought Lord Lightning was cool. And then I told all my friends when I was on a live show, and they all laughed. And they were like, so I was like, okay, I guess I got to change the name. And then I did the same thing. I have still somewhere, I'm terribly disorganized, just like pages of lightning names. And some of them are on here, but there were even more. But I was like, I'm not gonna. I remember giving you a huge list of lightning names. These were like rejected names from my list. So Electroshock, Electro Storm, I think was one of them. Thunderbringer, Thunderbearer, Stormbearer. Like I just had a ton of them. And that was how I came up with that.
That's so cool, man. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Now that you've told me the meaning of the word, it really fits the book well.
Yeah, because I remember telling you the name at first, and I remember you not being crazy about it, which I don't blame you. Most people were like, that's a
Now I'm crazy
mouthful.
about it.
Yeah. I
Now
know,
that
it
you
took me
told
a
me, I'm
while.
crazy
When
about
I
it.
went to bed that night coming up with Phenomenova, I was so happy. And then as I was about to go to sleep, I was like, I hate it now. And then I woke up the next day and I liked it again. And then I went back and forth for like 3 or 4 days on if I liked it.
Mhm.
And I finally said, I'm going to pay the guy to design the logo. So now I have to stick to it because I don't want to pay. That's what I decided to do. What is the best name that you didn't end up using? This is Comics Made. The best, I think Galvanite was the best name. The best one I didn't end up using, Electro Storm, I really like. Storm Strike, I really like. But not as much. But I had to decide on my favorite. So issue 2, you're going along with. I'm sorry, we've been talking about this one, but I want to ask what were your. So we talked about some of your favorite comics, some of your favorite artists.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, what was your first work that you did as a creator?
Oh, uh, I did an independent comic book for Ulele. it's
Oh,
it's
that's
a
cool.
it's a independent publishing in France. So it's
Ukulele. Okay, what's it
yeah.
called? So I could link it and have people check out your work.
It's in Instagram. It's spelled uh Ulele.
Okay,
Yeah.
comic.
Wait, let me search.
Yeah, send me. Yeah, if you could.
I think it's a French word.
Like, yeah, let me, because people were telling me, because people were looking you up and they were just like in disbelief. Because I assumed you went, I cannot believe you're self taught. Because I know, like, a lot of my friends are Kubert School graduates. So Kubert School is like the
Really?
biggest comic book.
Yeah,
And they were like,
that's a dream of mine to study there.
yeah, well, a lot of my Kubert School friends were blown away by your art, man. A
Oh,
lot of
thank you.
them.
That's don't be
Like some people that were, yeah. So they were like, "Where did you find this guy? This guy's amazing." So I guess you just would what? How did you go about self-teaching?
I've been drawing since I was 6 or 7.
Oh,
That's the first time I read Batman Hush.
wow, that's crazy. It's the difference between being determined and naturally different. All the best artists are self-taught, says someone in the chat. I think a lot of the best ones are. Art Adams was self-taught. Um, who else was self-taught? Like a lot of the biggest artists were self-taught. But the thing is, everyone has to self-teach to an extent. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, man, that's so you've been drawing since you were 6, since you were 7, and did you
Yeah.
shop around? Did you show your work to professionals? Like, how did you go about getting
Okay.
professional work?
Here in the Philippines, I'm not sure if the opportunity is that abundant in comic books. So I had to like to get to college and like find a new profession, find a profession that fits, that fits the norm.
Gotcha. So
So
So it's not common for people to be comic book artists where you're from?
Yeah, it's kind of like uh, it's not. I'm not sure the term. It's not as It's not kind of like it's it's not as hmm, I'm finding a word that it's not art is not that appreciated here. I think that's the that's the
Gotcha.
phrase. How about
That's
in the
shocking
states?
to me
How about in the
because
states?
it's shocking to me because we always think the Philippines. Everyone talks about here how, oh my God, the best artists are coming from the Philippines. So I'm really surprised by that because so many of
Hmm.
the best artists are coming from the Philippines. Um, Philippines,
Like like
Brazil,
uh Lionel Yu? Do you mean?
Lionel Yu, Will Spertasio, I think was it
Oh, okay.
Pertasio came. But even in general, even just like younger talent like you, like I'm seeing, so many coming from the Philippines that are just amazing. Um, so I'm surprised. In the U.S., it's weird. In the U.S., because I'm a writer, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I can't answer it as well as an artist. I think a lot of people think artists are great, but I think across the board, all over the world, a lot of the time artists aren't as respected as they should be because I think people care more about superhero movies than they do about comics here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I will say if I'm at a table with friends and someone says they're an artist, people go, "Oh, that's so cool." But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think in the US that it's taken as seriously as people would like it to be. I think most artists do have day jobs. Very few of them get to do it full time in general in the US. Most want to do it full time, right? Um,
Yeah.
but it's hard because people are afraid, especially indie creators, that their stuff won't get picked up, which is why. But I took a risk because I believed in it, which meant I needed to find an artist that was gonna bring my stuff to life. But yeah, I would say it's not taken as seriously here as people want it to be. But
Mm-hmm.
and someone in the chat is from Australia. He says they have some great artists. Okay, that's he says there's no comic industry in Australia. It was super difficult to break into the industry before the internet. The internet has helped a lot. Like we would be on opposite sides of the world, not even knowing each other, if not for the internet. The internet can be terrible too and very distracting, but it did. If I hadn't made this post on Facebook, this never would have happened. And it's crazy to me. We're on like other sides of the world. We have a 12-hour time difference
Yeah.
and still we both started with the same comic. It's crazy to me, and that's what I hope to create something like that. I hope one day some kid will have their first comic be Phenomenova, and but that
That's
means making something incredible, and I think we've done that. I've
yeah.
had people tell me that they can't believe that this book is by two people they've never heard of and that it looks this good, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
testament to the artwork. And you and I remember we'd be slower in the beginning, if I remember
Mm-hmm.
correctly, because we were still setting everything up. And I think by the end we were going fast because suddenly
Mm-hmm.
it was like, yeah, even someone else in Australia said that Hush changed his life forever, right? Another artist friend of mine. It's just that book really is incredible. But I remember by the end we were going so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think,
Yeah,
and I
I
don't know
think
what it was like on your end. Why do you think it started picking up at the end? Do you think that we got better as a team or
that too. I think we communicated better and
yeah.
because the designs. I think that was the tricky part at the start, right?
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
I think we're trying to build a new world, right?
Yeah.
A world that didn't exist before. So we're building it from the ground up. So I
Yeah.
think that's what made it really long. And we're creating every characters from scratch, and
Mhm.
even the side characters we're designing them from scratch. We're
Mhm.
trying to build their personalities with it. So
Yeah.
every character here is unique. Every hero. So I think I think we kind of like when everything was established, the world, the characters. I think it was fast from there, right?
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think the reason why it took so much longer in the beginning for both of us is because we had, yeah, like you said, we had to design it all. We had to design the locations. Okay, we're in a school. As soon as we were done with one place, it was like you had to design a whole new place.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say issue 3, I think going forward too, and it's not a bad thing because the best things in life are worth waiting for, right? Like I'm glad we took as long as we did
Mm-hmm.
because the results are so worth it. They're so worth it. But I think going forward with issue 2, we're already going faster
Yeah,
than
it's
3.
way faster than
I
issue 1.
apologize in advance for 3 because there's going to be so many If you listen, if you want to get people to help design, always let me know. If you're ever like,
Yeah, I
hey,
will.
always let me, because I would say I always give you the first dibs, right? I'm always like, you
Mhm.
get your first choice, but if you decide I want someone else to do that, perfectly fine. Because issue 3 there's going to be the villain team gets introduced, and the rest you actually finally see the full Phenomenova team in issue 3. And then from there it's really not that many new characters that I have in mind, a
Mhm.
couple, but all the crazy designs we're getting out of the way earlier for now. Obviously, there will be more later on. But like you said, it's tough because you're building a whole team. You're building a whole world and
The
a
world.
whole history. I mean, we go in 3 images. We go from, again, a massive group of soldiers in a foreign country to now we have new characters on a cliff to now a whole different city and country getting destroyed. And now we're rebuilding that country. I mean, you communicated so much so early on. It's amazing how much heavy lifting we were able to accomplish here. It really is. And hats off to you, man. I mean, you really like, I'm just looking at these pages, and one of the things I also love about your art too, like I said, is just how expressive the characters are. I have a lot of scenes where my character was just experimenting with his powers or just
Mhm.
talking to his friends, and without even reading a word of dialogue. Like, I'll pull this up there without even seeing a word on the page. There's just, you could feel everything the character is feeling. um and I love that.
Thank you, man.
It's just so good. It really has been an amazing experience. And one I'm excited to keep doing, and I
Excited
want
to
to
group
keep,
up.
yeah. And it's one I want to keep doing. And we, yeah, I guess we're getting better at just moving along. I don't know. Did you get the lettered pages yet?
Oh no, no, I haven't. I do want to read it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I sent it to you. It should be, you should have access to the Dropbox. If not, let me know. But let me know what you think about it. Um
By the
it's
way, I wanted to ask you like, what made you like wanted to take writing as a career? Like, what did you read or what did you see or
oh
what
man.
inspired you to, hey, I'm gonna do this for a living?
I wanted to make movies when I was a kid. I was into film. I like
Mm-hmm.
acting, and I that's what I went to college for, was filmmaking. Um and then when I was in college, I kept having these big ideas. And I realized that making these superhero stories is crazy expensive. It's all these things. And at the time, I was just in my downtime at college. I just started reading some X-Men stuff. And I'd liked comics for a while. But it wasn't until I was like at college and I was looking at just how much creativity and all the character designs and how many new characters and action pieces they could keep doing like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
next, and I was like, I have all these ideas. I could write them down and then wait for years to build up to a studio ladder and pitch it to it and then never have it. Or I can go independent, own my ideas, have someone draw them, and really have full control and just
Mm-hmm.
have fun with it. And I was like, I have all this energy and all these ideas in me. Um let's do it. Let's go all in. But I don't think there was ever a time in my life. It's kind of like you said that you've been drawing since you were 6. I've probably
Mm-hmm.
been wanting to write for the longest time, but I didn't actually. I would write down ideas and think about them a lot, but I didn't fully commit to like actually getting my attention in order because I would have trouble paying attention. Um, until I want to say I was in like middle school is when I really started, and especially high school, I really started doing it. And then in college, I would spend even more time. Um, and writing this, I would really take my spare time and just write and then show it to people, and they'd give me feedback, and I'd be like, okay, let me rewrite this, and until I felt that I was ready to release something. But yeah, I think I've always wanted to do it. When Chris Claremont's X-Men run right here
Yeah.
is what got me, because it was like, and I'm still not done with the run. I'm actually going to see him this weekend at a convention, but he would do all these new characters. He did Dark Phoenix Saga, Days of Future Past, like everything we love about X-Men. Most of it came from him. And then
Mhm.
Stan Lee's Spider-Man, Frank Miller's Daredevil. Frank Miller, and Chris Claremont, I would say, are my biggest two. Jeff Loeb from Batman Hush, The Long Halloween. Yeah, I would say my biggest influences are Frank Miller, Chris Claremont, Jeff Johns, Jeff Loeb, and Marv Wolfman. Like his new
Mhm.
Teen Titans run, that was a big influence. Stan Lee. It was really I think my favorites were the most creative, and the ones that were able to really take time to focus on the characters were always
Mhm.
my favorite writers for comics, at least. And then for movies, I mean, there's so many. I think my favorite director growing up was Steven Spielberg. I started paying attention to the people writing the stories I liked, and that's when I really started to be a better writer.
Yeah. But you're working on films, right? Films too, right?
Sometimes it's been slow lately. Mostly I've been
Mhm.
doing this and YouTube and promoting this. This has been most of my life lately. But every once in a while I work on I worked on a movie set. I remember there was a period in time where I was trying to get as much to you. I was like, you just draw this, and then I would be working on a movie set. Last almost a year ago, I was the last time I worked on a film set in a professional setting. I work on film sets whenever I can, but it's
Mhm.
tough because the movie sets are crazy. Um, but I worked on a few. Right out of college, there was one I worked on, and then the industry went on. There was a lot of crazy stuff in the industry, and everyone went on strike. But
Uh-huh.
then it came back. I got another job, and I have like a couple things I'm waiting on job wise. There's some movies that I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about, but that are in production that I'm hoping to be involved with.
Mhm.
But I do film work when I can, but most of my time I spend on comics now and building a YouTube channel and building an audience because I'm
Mhm.
trying to build my own following from the ground up.
Yeah. That's nice, bro. That's nice. I mean, like, I've been watching some of your videos, and they're really great.
Oh, which
I watched
ones?
the interviews.
Oh, the interviews?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Before
Oh, I'm
this one,
glad.
I watched.
That's so cool. Let me know if there's anyone you want me to try and get in touch with then, if you're into
Oh
the
yeah,
interviews.
sure, sure.
People, it's cool. People are asking to get on now, independent. There's some people I definitely will try and ask in person. I mean,
Have you tried reading like graphic novels, independent ones, like the
eh, like, which one?
um
I've read a lot of independent from my friends. A lot of my friends are independent creators that I've had on my
mhm,
channel. So I read a lot of their books more so. I haven't been reading much Image lately.
mhm.
Because Saga is Image, right? Isn't Saga
Yeah,
Image?
Image is Saga. Saga is
Y-
Image. Sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've heard Saga is amazing. What else have I heard? I heard Ice Cream Man, my editor, for this book, um, said that Ice Cream Man, I think is what it's called, is like his favorite one right now. Um, I have,
Ooh, yeah.
I haven't heard much about it, but my editor, he gave me great feedback. He loves your art, obviously, and he told me that That Ice Cream Man is his favorite series right
Yeah.
now.
I
What do
wanted
you,
to read that too for the longest time. Like I haven't just had the chance, but yeah,
yeah.
that's on my list. That's on my PBR.
My list is huge. I read mostly older Marvel and DC and mostly crowdfund like Kickstarter, Indiegogo comics
Mm-hmm.
today. Um, what are some of your favorites right now?
Oh, right now the recent ones. Like wait, I'll just get it. So this is the new ones that I read just this year. This is Ballad for Sophie by Top Shelf Productions.
What is it?
Ballad for Sophie.
I don't know if I've heard of that. Ballad
Yeah,
for Sophie.
it's so good. It's so good. The art is so good too. It's very stylized, so I'm not sure if everyone would like it, but it's
Oh,
definitely, yeah. Not
I've
sure if you
never
can.
heard of this one. All right, I'll have to check it out. For independence, if we're talking old school, I love Witchblade.
Which blade?
Yeah, Witchblade is awesome. All right, so for independent, like one that I'm friends with, so my friend Billy Tucci, my friend Billy Tucci, she like which is coming back now.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorites. Um, I love what other ones? My one friend Irene, who did one of the covers for Phenomenova,
Oh
actually.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The cover she did was amazing,
yeah,
with Dark Cloud, right?
yeah. She
Yeah.
gave me great feedback too. When I mentioned I had a list of countries, she was the one that gave me that list actually of
Oh,
countries. So
nice.
she gave me feedback. She is doing one of my favorite comics right now called Fiendish. So hers
Mm-hmm.
definitely check out. Even some of the people that were talking in the chat were
I mean,
they make comics.
I wish those books are accessible here, though.
Yeah, I know. That's the toughest part. We got to figure out how to get because I want everyone over the world to read it. If I had the money to do that, I want to get it. My goal is to get as many eyes in it as possible, and hopefully, it
Mm-hmm.
could get the money. So I want everyone all over the world to eventually be able to read my stuff. Uh, well, I'll send you comp copies. We'll figure something out. So,
Yeah,
um,
would love that Irene and Sukesh cover.
oh yeah, you'll get all the
Love
dude. You'll get
those.
everything. Oh, Sukacia, yeah, hers is great. Buzz did the last cover right here. Um yeah, Sukacia's her cover's amazing.
Yeah,
Which funny enough,
I
one of the
love her
characters.
style. It's very different. I mean, it's amazing how like a character I designed has different iterations now from different artists.
Oh
It's really
yeah. Yeah. That was one of the great things is I was because I was always like curious. I was like, how are you gonna feel about other people drawing your character? So that's it's really
cool.
great. So you've
I
been
love
liking it?
seeing other versions. Even the fan art is amazing. It's like professional level
Oh
art.
yeah, Brett.
It's not even a
Brett.
fan art anymore.
Oh yeah, well it's not because I wanted to turn him quickly into professional, so I hired him. So he drew this, the fan art contest winner.
Mhm.
Brett, yeah, Brett was amazing. Like people, again,
Yeah.
your art inspired so many people to just get it together and just draw your characters. I mean, it really is. It's just it's so cool. Like seeing my friends in real life being excited to draw some of the characters you designed. It's just and some of these people, they're professionals, right? Like these are, and it's funny. So Sukacia drew a cover for issue one, and one of the characters is based on her that we designed for issue two.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's coming in issue 2.
yeah. I sent it to her today. By the way, I sent your art to her today, and she loved
Mm-hmm.
it.
Oh,
She was like,
nice,
"Oh my
nice.
god, that looks awesome." She was very happy with it. Um,
Even the colors, like this, when I saw the colors, like, oh yeah, they got the colors right.
yeah, that was. I asked her for her opinion. I was like, What would you wear?" And she was like, "I'd wear the black top. That's my style." I'm like,
Uh
"Okay,
huh.
cool."
Nice.
Um, So yeah, that was great because she wears those like at conventions because I've hung out with her a few times. She'll wear like these custom. She has a custom Sonic the Hedgehog jacket. So I was like, let's give her character a custom jacket. Well, also just sounded cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing to me. If you remember earlier on, I would be more picky about design elements, and
Mm-hmm.
now I'm kind of like, just you got this. Because really, I mean, every design you've turned out has been amazing. Every page. Um,
Thank you, man.
so your favorites are the double page spreads.
Yeah,
Were
yeah,
there
definitely.
anything else you want to show to the audience?
Oh,
Um,
the scene where Miles had like a vision in the hospital. Like,
oh, from issue two.
yeah, no,
All right.
from issue one. Like after the
Which
hospital scene, was it like page 28?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
god. This
yeah, yeah.
page, I remember writing this. I had a lot of information I wanted to convey in a
Mm-hmm.
scene.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just wrote this word salad and I cut it down later, but I wrote this shit ton of dialogue and I basically just told Philip, I'm like, just draw whatever goes with the words, man. I think I even give you that much direction on it?
I think you gave me the scenes of what they include and
Yeah.
yeah, I think you've given me creativity, lots of like
Yeah.
room for
This one
creativity.
again, I was very pretty specific earlier on, and by that point in our collaboration, I was like, dude, I know you're just gonna draw something amazing because this again, the dragon, you went above and beyond what I had expected, and then wrote like a whole monologue, and I was like, just draw something that's loosely connected to this, whatever. And then I just blinked, and you just drew this, and I was like, holy, like this blew me away because this is I had never thought of this. Like this is so much cooler, and even I remember my colorist. I gave him a batch of pages. I gave
Mm-hmm.
him like 8 pages in a row, and he was like, I'm skipping to this one. I'll do the other ones later. I'm really excited to color this. And so he just goes, is it cool if I just do this? Actually, he didn't even ask for permission. He goes, sorry, I just had to skip to this one. I really was excited about this one. So,
Yeah, I think it's that page is really important for the story too. Like how we're gonna show the audience of how the stone that we found is gonna merge with his body.
yeah, I think because it was like you see it in a strike of lightning
Yeah.
in the script. But then I wanted to have him like have a moment where he kind of realizes, no, it didn't just, it literally absorbed into me. It was
Mm-hmm.
because initially when I was writing it, I was wondering if I wanted to show it absorb into him. But I think, and you might agree with me, I think it was more effective that it was a strike and then he's on the ground, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's supposed to be shocking. And actually, this was
Mhm.
originally 3 issues. So, and then I can smash them together. If you remember reading them, do you remember? Wait, you read them when they were 3 issues, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
because
you
the
just it's.
cliffhanger was
Mhm.
supposed to be him getting struck by lightning and falling to the
Mhm.
ground.
Mhm.
Uh, and then the cliffhanger for issue 2 was supposed to be he was running off to the reactor, and then 3 was supposed to be, the ending.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, and it's been
But
so
it's
great.
good like that we have like a supersized issue. I think
Yeah,
it's a good introduction to all the characters, the world that's gonna come. The
yeah.
the villain the villain is the most exciting part, right?
Oh, was it? All right, dude. I will
I
tell
mean, in the
you.
end, in the
Well,
end.
because I will tell you, because I just finished rewriting, because I had 11 issues written, and then it became 8 when I condensed them. I'm
Mhm.
rewriting, and my writing is so much better now than it was back then, but I did have some good ideas. So I'm rewriting the ending. I rewrote my favorite issue was 5, which is where Dark Cloud's backstory is revealed. Um,
Mm.
so if you ever wanted to just read ahead just for the fun of it,
Oh.
I have 1 through 5
Yeah.
written, and I'm writing 6 now. I think I'm gonna just write to all the way to 8, and then take a break, and then work on some other
Mhm.
ideas. But I'm just gonna keep writing in advance, and then we could always just go back. But the
Yeah.
first story arc
You write so
involving,
fast, man.
you see, you say that, but it's, I guess so. I guess so. When I do, I guess I can write fast.
How long? How long did you write all of these books? Like how long? I'm curious.
Well, because I've been rewriting them for a while,
Mhm.
so it's hard to say because I wrote these like before I started talking to you. I had written them like almost a year ago, but then I
Oh.
sat on them for a while and then I rewrote them. So in terms of when I'm sitting down and writing a script from start to finish,
Mhm.
that can take a couple of days to a week. And then I rewrite it. Normally I maybe 2 weeks. Like, oh, I would say now that I'm faster, it's tough to say. It's tough because it's not because I spent like years like thinking my
Yeah,
characters
years
up
in the making,
inside
right?
and out. So like even down to the point where I would write documents just for myself on with the friend group, I'd be like, who met who first? What even if it's not in the script, I write a lot of extra details. So
Mhm.
that way when I'm writing the dialogue, it's just like I know what they can do, what this character will do here, what this character. But if I'm asking how long it takes, because I've been writing more lately, when I'm
Mhm.
not distracted by other things like promoting the book or talking to artists,
Mhm.
I'd say it could take honestly, I've gotten pretty fast. I could say I could write a script in about a week or so.
Nice.
I would say so. Yeah, a
That's that.
24-page
So I
script I
think
can write in
you've
about a
got
week.
like the idea. You
Yeah.
told me the layout of the story from
Yeah.
each issue, and I think from there you got really fast, right?
Yeah. Like I finished up issue 5. It was basically finished except I was 2 pages away from the ending and then I had some other stuff that I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
But so I finished up issue 5 earlier this week. If I didn't have a con to prepare for, if I wasn't working like for example, earlier today we were talking for a while about
Mm-hmm.
colors, right? And then we
Yeah.
finished up the conversation later. So that I consider part of work. But if
Mm-hmm.
I which is good. It's helpful and it gives me room to write later. But like
Mm-hmm.
even before this like in 15 minutes before this interview, I wrote like maybe 2
Mm-hmm.
pages of a script. So it
Oh,
depends. It depends. It's
wow.
normally sometimes I will spend entire days thinking of just on one page. And then some days
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to write like 10 pages in a day. It depends. It totally depends. What about you? How long does it typically take you to draw a page?
Man, I take longer. I mean, like the first issue, it took a while. Like I think double page spread took a week. I'm not sure. I think
Wow. Which one? The dragon behind you?
yeah, I think that took long. I'm not sure, but I remember it was a week or for the two double pages, right? I think it was 1 week.
Wait, for both of these it was just 1 week?
Yeah, I mean like or 1 week for one. I'm not sure. I think it was 1 week for the dragon only.
Well, I use this art even in the background of this stream. I use this art
Mhm.
for everything now. And to the point where I actually posted on Twitter, I was like, "All right, guys, if you could get one free print as a stretch goal for when you guys back, what do you want?" And everyone basically voted on this one. I thought some people might like the superheroes standing together, but
Mhm.
everyone just I have had people come up to me at comic book conventions in person and tell me, "Dude, when I saw that art, I knew I was going to get your book." Like
Wow,
it's like
that's
what you
nice.
did
That's nice
here
to hear. That's nice to hear.
like and I remember if you remember, do you remember that I sent you the one wing adjustment? I was like, "Hey, can we change the direction of that?"
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that was because I sent it to a group chat I was in, and Graham Nolan, he created Bane, but he
Mhm.
also did 20 something issues of Hawk World, where it was like Hawkman related characters. So he was like, I know my wings. Here, you gotta just fix this wing. Because I drew them for like years. Uh
Mhm.
but everyone who looks at your art is just they're blown away by it. And they're like I remember actually some people, a friend of mine, Andy Smith, said that he was like, "Are you going to do a black and white version?" And here's the thing: if there is enough demand, I would happily do an artist edition of this book. If there was enough demand, if people want it with my issue 2 campaign, if you guys want a limited edition like artist edition, I will happily do it. We could plan because I have all the art. We could easily. I would love to do a making of and show off the character designs. Oh,
Yeah,
we
the
have.
character designs.
Oh
You can show
shoot.
them too. Like that's
Yeah.
one of my favorites too. Like the pinups and all.
All right. I was wondering because are those a pain? Because the thing about character designs, I almost feel like with that. Can you send me the link again real quick, or is there a way you could
Yeah.
send that to me real quick? I think I might have just accidentally showed off a bunch of pages in the book, but it's okay.
Oh,
Whatever. It's okay. The people will read it. A lot of people have backed this. We have over 300 people are getting this book, which is crazy to me. And even more, I hope, I'm hoping that with each issue, it just continues to grow. But send me that link again, just because I don't have it on my PC right now. And then we could go through some of the character designs. So those are fun for you? Because I felt bad early on because it was just, I could tell you wanted to start drawing the pages and that you liked the script. And it was like we were just deciding what everyone was going to wear, what their hair was going to look like, and all this. And I was like, I wasn't sure if you liked doing that or not.
yeah, I love designing. Like,
Oh, awesome. Well, you're going to get to do a lot of that and a lot of super villains and a lot of heroes in issue 3. And again, if you're ever like, all right, I've seen too many. If you're ever like, I want to design less, perfectly fine. Oh my God, this brings me. All right, first of all, I went through so many hairstyles and I'm sorry about this. And finally, I was like, we went through so many hairstyles. Yes, I remember. You know what's funny is when I first pictured the cover, I pictured it exactly how you drew it. But then I started second guessing it and I was like, wouldn't he be screaming? Wouldn't he be doing this? And so I asked you to draw this and I remember, oh my God, this feels so long ago and it really wasn't.
yeah, it's a
Oh
long time
man.
ago. Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
We did take our time. In the
But that
first.
was, you know what, it paid off. And now we're at a point where I had a huge list of ideas for issue 2 covers. And I don't even think I bothered showing them to you because I knew I was like, what do you picture? And then what you drew, I was like,
Oh,
I have
yeah.
thought of 1,000 ideas and none of them were as cool as, and I don't want to show off the issue 2 cover yet. I want to save it. Even though I really want to show people, I want to hold out for a bit because I want people to read the
Yeah,
book.
it's kind of like a spoiler of some kind.
Yeah,
but
it is spoiler. It's a spoiler, and also what I want is so actually as we speak, I'm having my graphic design guy, the guy who designed the Rebel Oasis logo, who did the corner box, who's doing the credits page and everything. He's drawing a page where it says like next issue, and it's going to be the cover for issue 2. So that page is currently being worked on. I want that to be the first time people see the issue 2 cover, and then. But oh my God, man, this is taking me back. And then we went. So remember all right. I remember you went through this. We knew, and even this, I liked all the different. You would do different faces. And then we went through this, and then I had a convention to get to, so I said, I like these, let's put these on. Now I'm starting to remember. You were designing the hair and the crystal and everything, and I said, let's put this on hold for a second, because I just need the cover art so I could sell these at a convention. So I said, let's put off, if you remember, I said, let's put this off for now and make sure we get the crystal and everything we need for the cover. And I remember going crazy with the hair, and I'm sorry about that.
No. I think we came up with the perfect one. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Because in hindsight, looking at them all, they were all cool. All the hair designs, all of them were cool. Did you have a favorite one?
Favorite one. I really like the one we came up with, the final one. I think it's unique. I think that's the word for it.
Yeah.
Because
and then
like,
I felt bad. Oh, sorry. Continue.
Oh, sorry. I don't think there's a character where there's a hairstyle like Miles. I don't think
Yeah.
ever.
And you know what? That's kind of it's funny you mentioned Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood earlier, which I love that show. And it's the same thing with Edward Elric. I wanted him to have a specific hairstyle. I had similar ones, but I wanted it to be something where it's like if you just look at Edward Elric's face, you know exactly who that is.
That's
You know, I wanted something like that. Because even though we weren't going to give him his final costume, you know, I remember that. And I remember, oh my God, it's so cool seeing it come together a bit. Wow. And then, wow, I remember this. Yeah, we would go back and forth. I remember I had said katana, and then you came up with this sword that I had never heard of, the wakizashi. So how did you find out about that?
Oh, it's my first comic book project. It's about ninjas and shinobi. So wakizashi is like a stealth sword. It's lighter
Ah,
to carry. It's easier to kill somebody with it with stealth because samurai is like face to face combat, head on combat. Like wakizashi is for stealth,
wow.
for being for agile shinobis.
See, and that's one of the reasons why it's so great working with an artist is I never would have I didn't even know what a wakizashi was, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, because again, I had written this whole character document with a bunch of possible swords, and he came up with one I had never even heard of that was cooler than all of them. The emblem. I remember printed these out and I was showing them to my mom and my sister, and I was like, "Can you guys circle the one you like most?" Um, I remember, so I had a previous artist that ultimately didn't stick around, but she had came up with some stuff for Senshi. She had come up with the idea of a white streak in her hair. Adriana Miller, shout out to her. But she ultimately dropped off. But I remember coming up with these, and this was closer to Psylocke. I almost went with these because I like the legs and whatever, but I think we decided on this on this one, and then this was different. It was cool, but it was I think the red and the black was the oh my God, I'm remembering. I think I suggested red, but I pictured her just wearing all black like a generic ninja suit. And what you came up with was again, like with Golden Gallant, it was something we had seen before, but in a way we had never seen it before. Like I have seen night suits before, but I
Yeah,
had
for
never seen one
common.
like what you drew with Golden Gallant. And that's why it always took me a second because I'd be like, whoa, that's different. Same with the Phoenix Senshi. I'd always pictured a generic black ninja. And then you came up with something that took me a second where I was like, whoa, I like that. Um, and then even just the little faces differences. Oh, this one was cool too. This one, I forget why we decided on going the one we did, but I'm glad we did because this one like she
Yeah,
was. I think it was she was sexy, but it was like we wanted her to be like um I forget why we decided on this one, but I'm glad we did. Was this your favorite too?
yeah. I mean, the final touch you suggested that we go for a tight leggings if I'm not mistaken. So
Yes,
that's the
yes.
final one, right? I think
Yes, this is
that's
it.
the one we were looking for. I think
Yes.
that's what lacked in the first designs, which
You're
is great.
right.
Yeah.
You know what it was? It was this was perfect, but I said it's too. I said I because I wanted the ninja look, and this is the ninja look. But I said let's make it more comic booky and make it skin tight, like a superhero costume. So she's a super ninja, and that was why I decided on the tight. I
Yeah,
remembering that you're right. You're right. And then the gold was I think the colorist made this gold, right?
yeah. I mean, it's a nice touch. Like I didn't think of that when you suggested it. Wow, that's a really nice
Did I
idea.
suggest that
Yeah, I think you
the
did. Yeah.
gold? I'm
No,
trying
I
to
mean
remember.
the leggings,
Oh, the leggings. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
tight leggings.
Yeah, because I felt that like this is so cool, don't get me wrong, but I wanted it to be like she
Yeah,
looks now like a superhero. And I just think the
you're right
tight
about
um the black suit was cool too. Maybe if I wanted to give her a stealth suit when we do the World War III stuff, which I do plan on doing that Love that. And then Dark Cloud, again, this is a character I'd had ever since I was a little kid, and I always knew he'd have a black helmet, but it always just looked generic to me. I never had an exact face, and you gave this character a face that I had never had. And I was like, and you gave a couple of them, and they were all so much cool. What I had in mind was almost just like a generic. I don't even think I just kind of had like a. I don't even know what I imagined. I just knew he would have a cool black mask. And suddenly this character that I had a in-depth backstory for, that I had written like tons of issues for, finally had a face. And I had always pictured his armor being almost like more generic looking, and you would add all these grooves, these bits of texture. Oh, it's not all plated. There's bits that aren't plated. And I remember, again, I think it was me learning to let go, which is a big part of being a comic writer, is learning that sometimes the artist knows better. And you came up with these bits here, and I love that. This, you made him almost. So when you were doing it, because I think you added some armor in place and took away from some others. What were your biggest inspirations for designing Dark Cloud?
Biggest inspiration. I think you wanted to make it look like more of like a Gotham feel to it, right? Like
Yeah.
Batman feel. So
I
that's how I went with it.
Yeah, I think I imagine he's like a Batman with a gun meets Darth Vader meets Mr. Freeze, and like Dark Knight Returns Batman was a big one too. I came up with him when I was a little kid, so I don't know where the exact original idea came from. Probably Darth Vader, but I don't know. And then this, I remember I said, let's make him just gold, but I remember, yeah, that was my change, because this is the same one. It was just silver at first, and I said, let's get rid of the silver and make him just mostly gold.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, this is so cool. I remember like showing people this. I'd be like, is this too much? And they'd be like, what are you talking about? This is awesome. Like, again, my Kubert school friends, they're like, who is this guy? Again, one of the guys, I mentioned that to you, that one of my friends was like looking to hire you. The guy who's doing that is literally a teacher at the Kubert school, and he wants to hire you for something. Like you're impressing some very big, like some people are like blown away. So I don't know what you're doing, but it's working, man. And the cloud gun too, I always knew I wanted to be cool. And I had Dark Cloud was a tough character too, because I literally have tons of ideas for gadgets, and even still I have artists that are coming up with new gadgets that I had never thought of. Like one of the fan art pieces added rocket boots that I had never thought of, and I've had this character in my mind since I was in second grade. Irene, who did the cover with Dark Cloud on it, drew these drones that I never have thought of in over 10 years.
That was a nice touch.
Yeah, and I liked them so much that I went back and added them in my issue 3 script. I have had this idea since I was in second grade, and I never thought of drones until she did. I love this design. I send to anyone who has to draw them. I love that you drew the pellets are up top. So the pellets, are they cartridges with pellets inside?
Sorry. I'm looking at the art now. Okay. Oh, what was the question?
So the pellets, are they like vials that you put does he load them and take them out?
Yeah, you put them on top of the what do you call it?
The magazine, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't even know
what's on
what's...
top. So there are like two types of guns, right? The
Yeah.
main gun, which
Yes.
you load them on top, and the freezer is on the bottom, which the
So
ammo
cool.
is on the handle.
That's so cool, man.
So I have it, like it should be functional too. Like it should look cool but functional.
That was that was a tough... How long did that take for you to design?
I couldn't remember, but it the whole issue 1 took really long, right? I think it's
A year. It's been a year.
been a year, really. Wow.
Which is, but here's the
flies.
thing. It was, well, actually, come to think of it, you finished your part in less than a year. That's pretty fast, man. We built a world in less than a year, and now we're gonna show it off. Like,
Yeah.
because I'll be like, it's taking so long, but when I look at it in hindsight, I mean, look at how much we accomplished, man. Like we
Yeah.
did so much. Oh man, and you know what? Let's show off Estrella. Screw it. All right, we're gonna show off Estrella in Hotline. I was gonna wait, but I'm
Up to
just
you,
gonna
man.
show
Up
it
to you.
off. I'm just gonna show it off. I'm excited. Um, Estrella, who's originally Lady Justice, he came up with these, and I remember actually my cousin was having people over my house, and I just was printing these out, looking at them on my own, and people were coming up, Vaughn, what are you working on? I was like, oh, you know, while you're here, no, I'm just gonna describe the character. Which outfit do you think is coolest? And I would just ask random people. They don't know anything about comics. They don't know anything about
Mm-hmm.
this, and I already was leaning towards this one in the middle, personally.
Yeah, me too.
Okay,
So
you
what
were?
did
I
they
was curious.
what did they choose?
The middle.
The middle
Almost
too. Okay.
everyone chose the middle. Almost
Mhm.
everyone. Oh wait, no,
Awesome.
actually that's and then I remember showing them this one too. But I think
Uh-huh.
most people preferred that. Okay, so I remember this. So I was like this, and then I initially had pictured the character with showing more skin. So it said this. And I'm glad I did. We did go through this process.
Mm-hmm.
Because it made me realize that actually I did like sometimes Philip, sometimes I like when you actually deviate from my vision a bit. Because you captured the essence of the character better here without the specifics. Because she's more graceful here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I remember the compromise we reached was we just shortened her skirt, basically. Because I felt like if she's going to do all this
Yeah.
martial arts, these I liked too. These I really liked, but I think I like this because she looks less like a superhero. You know what's the thing too? These are all cool. Like if we had chosen any of these, they would have worked. But you agree with me on this one, right? Like that this is the best one.
Yeah, the middle one. I mean earlier.
Which one? Oh, well, this is the
No,
one we decided on. Or which one was your favorite?
the first one you showed on screen.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that one in the middle.
Yeah. And then, well, I think because this is just that one, just with a shorter skirt, right? Isn't it the same?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was because these were all cool, but I think we agreed that like because the cape is cool, but like she doesn't look like a typical superhero, and that's why it's the same reason why I liked
That's
Golden Gallant is he looks nothing like a typical superhero, and that's why he's so cool.
mm-hmm. Australia too. I really like the design. Like she's not your typical uh superhero. Like she looks unique in a way. I didn't think of like Lady Justice, the
Oh, really? What did you
symbol
think of?
itself as a superhero. Like
Yeah.
when you gave me the narrative for it, I didn't think of it like, oh, that's a really nice character, and reading her powers too. It's really nice.
Yeah, her powers. So the shoes are cool too for her power. That's the thing I always give you, especially because for example, let's go back to Miles. You would have. I remember I laughed when I saw the helmet because I was like, I can't believe I never thought of that in all these years. I laughed because I'm like, that's such a goofy thing the kid would do. Is he would just
Uh-huh.
put on a helmet?
Yeah, I mean, I thought of like if I was Miles, like, and if I'm in my house and I run fast, like what are the things that I'm gonna grab and gonna put on myself and just run with it.
Yeah,
So
you
that's
killed it,
so I
man.
saw so yeah, I'm just like looking around my stuff and that's what I saw and I just incorporated that into the costume and it looked okay. It looked great.
Yeah, no, I loved it, man. I loved working on this. It's so cool. Um yeah, I laughed when I first saw this and sent it to people. And they because I had again, it was just like one of those things. It was so perfect. You know what? I don't know if I showed anyone this, but a friend of mine has a YouTube channel and she designs costumes, and she actually made she made this like a real version of the sweatshirt
Ooh,
right here. So
wow.
that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sent it to me. So I'm gonna dress up as I don't have the helmet. But yeah, it was perfect because I literally told you. I think I listed out like a bunch of stuff, and I don't even know if I had thought of a helmet. Was that
Mhm.
was that on the list of stuff I wrote out in the script, or
Oh no, no, no.
yeah?
Yeah.
I as soon
But
as I saw that, I was like, perfect. That is so perfect.
yeah. I think it was like I was putting myself in Miles' shoes. Like,
Oh,
if I'm
really?
gonna make a costume, what will I do? What will I put in it?
That's
So
so
it was
cool.
fun. It was fun thinking of those stuff too. Like, I'm the superhero. If this was real life, what would I be doing? What will the things that I wear? And yeah.
And what made you how did you decide on the arrow? I'm curious because that was something I never thought of.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, we were just I gave you like some logos, right? That was
Yeah.
not the that was not the only one.
Oh, oh, that's
I
right. That's right. I forgot.
right? Yeah. Wait.
You
Let me
came up
find.
with a bunch
Yeah.
that I had never.
Mhm.
Maybe we could even use some of these if we go back. Hold on, let me find them. That's right. I totally forgot. You had given me like yes, you given me like the elemental symbols, right?
Yeah.
And
Elemental symbol.
electrons.
Yeah. So it was more of like a nerdy approach to it.
Yeah, that's see, because some of these, you know, what's funny is I was like nervous about designing, and I'm still nervous about designing his actual costume. But now I have faith in you. Luckily, I don't have to do it. But I was looking at how many characters have lightning bolts on their chest because I came up with this idea when I was little. But it's like, oh my god, they have the Flash, Captain Marvel, Storm has it on a couple of her costumes. There's like so many characters with lightning bolt symbols, and finding a new. First of all, most names I liked were taken. Living Lightning was taken. Um, and also so many lightning bolt symbols are taken. But I'm confident that you'll be able to come up with something when we design his final design. But we'll get there later. And then I remember showing this to Estrella. I mean, not Estrella. Hotline. When I came up with her, she was a different character with a different name early on. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I saw this design, it was at this point there were no revisions because Estrella had revisions. I think we got
Mm-hmm.
this like the first time. I was like,
Yeah, the
this
first
one,
time.
first time. Yeah, all I said, the only thing I think I changed was, I don't even think I said change anything. I just said add a something. Let's see the back too. But I think
Yeah.
you sent this. Was this your favorite one, or was one of these one of your favorites?
Mm, I think I like the black too. I think that
Yeah,
was my favorite.
the yoga
But
pants.
I
Yeah,
think like I was thinking like if she had like a personality, I think we should add colors to the. It should reflect the costume, so I add
yeah.
like neon colors to it. But I really didn't like the neon, so I think black was really cool.
Yeah, and plus the artist, she goes, I asked her, I asked her, oh, do you like the black? And hang on, let me find exactly what she said. It was pretty funny. I was because I was texting her the design. She loved it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Sukeisha, but
Also,
she goes, what did she say to me? She goes, I asked her which color shirt she liked better. She goes, oh, oh, she told me to tell you this. She goes, tell your artist they slayed all day. Holy shit, she's so bad. So that's what she said. Then she said,
send me the screenshot.
I
I
will,
want
I
that
will.
as like
Yeah.
I want that as like
Yeah,
what
I'll
you call
send
it,
that to you.
a
And then she
memorabilia.
said, I said, which shirt color is better? She said, I'm a black hoe all day. She's funny, man. She's really funny. She says, that sounded so wrong. Why, when you say it like that, I meant to say that black is the best color. But yeah, that was what you
Okay,
meant to
we
say.
didn't mean it like that, but
No, she's funny. She's so funny. She has no filter. It's really funny. But yeah, but yeah. Man, I'm so excited. It's almost like, oh, and then this. We had to come with a training uniform. And I was like,
yeah,
just come up with
that's my
something,
favorite
whatever.
piece too.
And then again, dude, you came up with something that was so much cooler than what I had in mind. Like, I was like, I just draw whatever. Just here's like a generic costume. And then you drew all these lines. You even came up with a symbol for Phenomenova. And I think initially I said this one. and then you said you like the minimalist, and I think I'm at a point where I'm like, you know what, dude, we'll go with what you want. But then we're gonna use this, I think, as the well. Have we
Yeah, you
decided?
can use the other ones. Like I think it can be incorporated to other, I don't know, to other symbols as well, to other costumes. I think it would work.
All right, hang on. I was just telling her. I was like, yeah, he likes what she said. All right. Yeah,
Send me
that.
the screenshot. Send
Yeah,
me
I
the
will.
screenshot.
I will. And remind.
I wanna like have that screenshot.
Yeah, I
It's
will. I'll
funny.
send that to you. But yeah, yeah. That's exact. Those are exact words, though.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
I think the
send me
middle
that.
one.
I want
Yeah,
that.
you'll get it. This is great, man. Man, and here we are. There we are. And now is we're in it. And issue 2 is a pretty simple issue, and then 3 is gonna get crazy. 3 is we're gonna see more of the reactor in 3. And also you're gonna get 3 other Phenomenova members and how many villains? Let's see. You're gonna get to draw the drones in issue 3, by the way. All right,
Yeah,
one,
I'll
two.
reference Irene on that.
Oh, you referenced Irene's. Yeah, that's what I liked. Everyone was doing it to each other. Was taking
Yeah,
each other's. Because Irene, she had given me great. Irene and I are good friends. We read each other's scripts, and she implements her feedback and my feedback and hers. I implement hers and mine. And I just asked her. I was on the phone with her. We were just talking about something else. I said, "Hey, while we're on it, what do you want to draw for your cover?" Because she was the first person I asked to do a cover, and she got so busy. But when she goes, because she had read the script, I go, like, what's your favorite? What do you want to draw? She says, has anyone drawn your villain yet? And I was like, no. And she goes, all right, I want to draw your villain. I want to draw a scene of Dark Cloud and them fighting in the reactor. And I was like, okay. I asked her to just pick your favorite part, and she did that. So I'm surprised but I guess what I liked is each artist brought something
Brings
new
it
to the
all.
table. And they all love your stuff, man. This has been so fun going back through everything. It's amazing how much we accomplished, dude. It
Yeah,
really is.
yeah, it really is. And
Thank you so much. I couldn't have
and
asked for better artists to work on this with.
thank you too, man. Thank you for having me
Of
in the
course,
book
anytime.
and your show too.
Dude, this has been my pleasure. It's been a blast. And I'll send this to people around. It's been so fun. And let's keep working at it. This book
Yeah.
has been amazing. If you ever need anything, you could just reach out. One of the most important things when finding an artist was I needed someone I could talk to who would tell me if they weren't crazy about something I was doing, or because I don't want to just have someone that I just pay and they just go, yeah, do whatever. I want artists who will is enthusiastic, and B, who will be like, I like, even earlier today I was like, I like this cover better, and you were like, no, I like this, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go with what you want. And usually, especially with that stuff, I'm like, yeah, you end up being right, and I like that. That's why, if you notice, I'm always asking, because I value your opinion, and you've come up with things that are so much cooler than I imagined.
I think yeah, that's amazing. Like we challenge each other basically.
Yeah.
We kind of like debate on stuff and see what's the best
Yeah.
for the book.
And it always turns out great. So thank you so much for coming on. This has been amazing.
Thank you,
It's been
man.
such a good time. This has
Thank you
been
for
one of my,
having me.
of course, my pleasure. Anything you want to say before we head out?
Yeah, I think you can guys follow me on Instagram, Philip V Cruz. If
You do use I wasn't sure if you used Instagram anymore. All right, let me pull up
I
your
do
Instagram.
have an Instagram, but I'm not active there. But yeah, you guys can check my work there. Philip
Okay,
V Cruz.
gotcha. Oh yeah. Okay, hold on. I want to talk about this real quick because now I'm going back. Let's go back even earlier to when I was hiring you. I think one of the reasons I sold you, it's not on here, but one of the preview pages. So I'm a huge X-Men fan and a New Mutants fan, and you drew Magic, who is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
I love Magic. Oh, by the way, Irene, oh no, she didn't draw this character. Irene drew a different character. Oh, Daredevil. Oh,
I have this. I have those. I can show you the actual ones.
oh yeah, I'll take it. Psylocke, love her. Yeah, I think this is one of the ones that I'm trying to find the art that like originally sold me. Oh, did you see the new Deadpool and Wolverine, by the way?
Oh, the movie? Yeah.
What'd you think?
It was super entertaining.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. I'm mad about Sabretooth, though.
Oh yeah, it
That
was so.
was bull.
But I wasn't really expecting like a big story. It was entertaining.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
it
entertaining.
did its job.
I agree with you. It wasn't anything deep, but it didn't need to be. It was an excuse to see cool stuff, and I
Yeah,
saw cool stuff.
and I saw the cameo. Sorry, I'm not gonna spoil, but the cameos were something. If you're a long time Marvel fan.
Where is this then? Did you just send it, or where? How did you want to send the? Or are we not allowed to show that the magic art?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
The magic art, like the or whatever art. I'm trying to remember the art that you initially showed me before I hired you.
Oh, I think is it posted on my Instagram? I barely post on my IG. I am not
Yeah,
really
it wasn't on here. I forget where I saw it, but I was scrolling through your portfolio and I was like, "Oh my god, this is." Yes, I'll be honest. I decided on you very early, and I'm so sorry it took me so long to officially say it, but I wasn't ready until I felt my script was ready for you. But like very early on, months before I officially hired you, I knew it was gonna be you. So I felt bad
Oh
for
man,
not
thank you,
for leading you along, but I did want to make sure because you liked my script, but I wanted to make sure it was ready, and I liked the way you drew faces too. Man, this stuff is amazing. Is this the independent book you worked on, the Last Shinobi?
that's the first book I've worked on. Yeah,
Wow.
it's about shinobis.
Okay. Oh,
That's
so
where I
that's
got the
where you
wife
got it
exactly.
from. That's cool. That is cool. Spider Gwen. Yeah. Right here. This is all so cool. This is all so cool. Yeah. All right. We'll have to find it at some point, but oh, it's this one. Oh, House of X. Yeah. There we go. Okay. But anyway, on that note, sorry, I could keep talking, but on that note, thank you so much for coming on. It's been great. Follow Philip on Instagram. Let me go ahead and post that in the chat. I'll post it in the description too. And if you ever like, hey, I want to show this off. If you ever want to post something, just let me know. And if I'm like it's too spoilery, I'll be like no. But if it's not, I'll be like don't worry about it.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm excited to keep working with you. Let's see how long we can keep this series going, because I have ideas for a very long time. And people are really liking it, and the book isn't even out yet. So I'm sure people will like it even more. But thank you so much, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Follow Philip and whatever. And I'm going to close this interview out. I'm not sure when my next one is going to be. I'm definitely going to have at least one interview next week. We'll figure it out. But on that note, I'm going to play the trailer for Phenomenova on our way out. Take care, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Peace. When the whole world was dragged into World War III, brave men like my father fought on the front lines. And they weren't alone. That was 20 years ago. Now it's up to us to carry on their legacy. And every so often, the earth from which we come gives way for something new, something greater to be born. And with them, even greater threats to face. Bring it on! Phenomenova.
For you, Dad. For you.